Bud Light may not be able to recover from going the other way and caving to woke ideology. Coors, just the latest company to make gains while Bud taps out. Former Levi Strauss & Co. brand president and Levi's Unbuttoned author Jennifer Sey joins us now. Jennifer, thanks for being with us. So the question in these situations is, do these consumer boycotts last? For most of history, the answer is no. They kind of always peter out. But this one seems to have legs. Do you think Bud's going to be able to recover from this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would have said before this Bud Light situation that boycotts do not last. We've seen consumer boycotts from both sides of the aisle, and they tend to be very temporary. If that fan loves the brand, they come back to it. But in this case, we're 4 months in. And it does not seem to be abating. Sales are down anywhere between 20 and 30%. And I think there was a missed opportunity early on to apologize and to be very forthright about that for inserting ideology into their marketing efforts. But they've lost that opportunity. And now I don't know if they're going to be able to recover. Trust was violated.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You see this happening across the board with a lot of different brands, Jennifer. So Target was one of them, Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Madison Allworth just gave us a report about Hertz making you drive an electric vehicle. I could see there being some backlash there. But companies are taking a stand when they do this. It's not like they don't realize that they're putting their politics out before their, before their business and their customer service to a certain degree. Yet they continue to make these missteps. In some cases, I don't think they're missteps at all.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. Your job as a business leader is to drive revenue, to focus on product excellence in a way that drives brand affinity, drives revenue, and ultimately drives the stock price. That is your job. Yes, treat employees well, but that is the job. And when they insert political ideology into the equation, consumers are well within their rights to reject that. And, they may say this is not ideology, this is about inclusion, they being Bud Light, but I would argue it is about an ideology and not a benign one. It's an ideology that rejects the very notion of biology and that leads us down a path where women are forced to compete against men, for instance, in sports. And when these leaders inject ideology, they're doing it because they think it's going to make fans like them. Well, if the fans reject the ideology, they are well within their rights then to reject that product. And there are lots of other great options, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Modelo, and we see them choosing those at this point in time.
Jennifer, we certainly do. I do want to follow up on that because I think companies are often caught between a rock and a hard place where they do have consumers demanding that they take stands on certain issues when there is a particular event. What's your advice in that case?
Well, I think, again, I would point to this Bud Light situation. The brands that are picking up revenue, that are experiencing revenue gains and stock price gains, they are not taking a stand on anything. They're focusing on the business fundamentals. They're focused on the product. They're focused on bringing together people with inspiring marketing. And so I would argue that is always a choice. And it is probably the best choice for a broad reach brand that seeks to bring a lot of people into the fold.
Jennifer, really quickly, it seems to me one of the big problems is companies are hiring activists in roles like marketing or branding, and they view themselves as activists. Do companies need to rethink how they're screening who they're bringing in?
They are hiring, I guess, sort of activists disguised as business leaders, but the companies also are setting the framework for that being an okay way to lead the business. They are chasing high scores. They are chasing, ESG. They are chasing, these scores, and that gives these leaders the permission to go and do this. And like I said, it's a dereliction of duty. Your job is to drive the business. It's a dereliction of duty to shareholders. There's real people who invest their life savings who have seen that value destroyed. And there should be accountability, and there should be a reset to getting back to focusing on normie capitalism, the product, inspiring marketing, and treat employees well. It's not hard.
Yeah, Jennifer, that point that you bring up, that the duty to shareholders, I love that because so much you see brands dismiss that. So thank you so much for your time today, Jennifer. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again.